You know the zebra, right? Of course you do. It's one of the most iconic animals out there. It looks like a horse, it kind of acts like a horse, but it's got those incredible stripes. And that brings up a really simple question. Why in the world do we ride horses, but not their striped cousins?
Okay, let's really get into this. It's a question that has been bugging people for centuries, and it's led to some seriously creative and pretty revealing experiments over the years. And no, this wasn't for some kind of weird military parade. This was all about camouflage. The idea was that a pony painted up with stripes could just blend in with the local zebra herds while it was grazing. From a distance, an enemy scout would just see a bunch of wildlife, not a hidden army unit.
Yeah, why not, right? Well, the answer is way more complex than you'd think, and it all starts with cracking the code of those famous stripes. What are they actually for?
For more than 100 years, scientists have been debating what the whole point of the zebra stripes is, and they came up with some really good theories, some of which you've probably heard.
For the longest time, all of these made a lot of sense. Camouflage, confusing predators, even a personal cooling system. But as it turns out, recent research points to a much, much smaller and, frankly, far more annoying problem. That's right, flies. The primary reason for those beautiful, complex stripes is basically to be the world's most elegant bug repellent. Studies from UC Davis and other places have shown that biting flies get totally confused by the black and white pattern and just can't seem to land on them properly. So, okay, mystery solved, right? The stripes are for flies, but hold on, that doesn't get us any closer to actually riding one. To understand that, we have to look at what it really truly takes to domesticate an animal. And this is absolutely key. There is a huge, massive difference between taming a single animal and domesticating an entire species. They are not the same thing. And this really gets to the heart of it. Domestication isn't about training. It's about changing a species from the inside out, over generations and generations. It's a change that's literally baked into their DNA. I mean, look at this guy. It was an amazing stunt, for sure. But notice what he's doing. He's driving them in a carriage. He never, ever rode them. Even Rothschild knew they were just way too aggressive and unpredictable for that. He proved you could train a zebra, but he didn't prove you could domesticate them. You know, there's actually a kind of checklist for domestication. For a species to be a good candidate, it pretty much needs to tick all of these boxes. Horses, after thousands of years of breeding, they check every single one. Zebras, on the other hand, well, they fail on some really important points. And they failed the personality test spectacularly. I mean, they're naturally way more hostile, they're super prone to panic, and they have this lightning-fast survival instinct that includes a powerful ducking reflex, making them almost impossible to even get a rope around in the first place. So why? Why are they like this? Why are they so different from horses? Well, the answer is all about where they evolved. Unlike the wild ancestors of horses, which were in Europe and Asia, zebras had to survive in an environment with constant, intense pressure from predators. We're talking lions, hyenas, you name it. This hardwired them for extreme aggression and an immediate flight response. There was just no room for hesitation. So that untamable nature isn't some kind of flaw, it's the secret to their success. It's what kept them alive. But can we actually see this difference in their DNA? This is where things get really cool. A fascinating study decided to look for clues right in the zebra's genetic makeup, putting them head-to-head with their domestic cousins. So scientists focused on this one specific gene, the androgen receptor, or AR gene. You can think of it like a control dial for hormones like testosterone, which can influence traits like aggression. The theory was pretty simple. If zebras are naturally more aggressive, maybe their version with this gene just looks different. And wow, when they looked, the results were just stark. Look at this. Domestic horses have one single uniform version of this gene. But all three of the zebra species they studied had longer and way more varied versions of that exact same gene. It's not even a close comparison. So what does this likely mean? Well, it suggests that for thousands of years, humans were selectively breeding horses that had that one single, less aggressive version of the gene. We literally bred the wildness out of them, a process that just never happened with zebras, leaving their wild, diverse genetic code totally intact. Okay, so let's bring this all together. The real answer is that there's no single reason we don't ride zebras.
First, those iconic stripes, they aren't for hiding from lions. They're an amazing defense against tiny, disease-carrying flies. And second, that wild, aggressive personality that makes them impossible to domesticate is a direct product of evolving in an incredibly dangerous world. And what's amazing is that this wild nature seems to be literally reflected in their genes, showing a clear difference from their tame horse cousins.
It really seems like the zebra is just a perfect example of an animal that is precisely adapted for its world. A world where being aggressive, skittish, and untamable isn't a flaw. It's the ultimate key to survival. It's a powerful reminder that not every animal is meant to be tamed, and that sometimes wildness itself is a form of perfection.